Good day everyone, I am Charlotte Baylon and today I will be discussing on how the telescope works. But before that, let us know first on what is a telescope. So a telescope is a tool that astronomers use to see far away objects. So most telescopes are all large telescopes and they work by using curved mirrors to gather and focus light from the night sky. So there are telescopes on the ground, in the sky, and in space. So astronomers used to work really hard to document it all with the naked eye, but the human eye isn't so great at picking out the details of dim and distant objects, so even on a clear sky. So they were able to come up with a telescope. So the earliest optical telescope we know of were made in the 1608. They were made in the Netherlands by various optical craftsmen. So one of them is Hans Lippershey, and he publicized his design, and well enough the news reached Galileo Galilei in Italy in 1609. So when Galileo heard of the telescope, he built his own. But Galileo did not invent the telescope. But within 1 year, he had greatly improved on Lippershey's design. So he promoted his own telescope. He also observed Jupiter's largest moon. So these are the reasons why when many people hear the word invention of the telescope, they think immediately of Galileo. So now, let's proceed to the two types of telescope. So the mirrors or lenses in a telescope are called the optics. So the first type of telescope is a telescope made with lenses, and it is called a refracting telescope. Next is a telescope that uses mirrors, and it is called a reflecting telescope. So let's discuss them one by one. So the refracting telescope, also known as a refractor, uses lenses within a tube to refract or bend light. So it's the type of long telescope which you might imagine old-time astronomers like Galileo. So they use that one. So a lens bends light passing through it and in a telescope, and it makes things seem closer. So big and thick lenses are more powerful. So if you want to see far away, you need a big and powerful lens. Unfortunately, a big lens is very heavy. So heavy lenses are hard to make and difficult to hold in the right place. So also, as they get thicker, the glass stops more of the light passing through them. So because the light is passing through the lens, the surface of the lens has to be extremely smooth. So any flaws in the lens will change the image. So here are the parts of a refractor telescope. So we have the objective lens, the eyepiece, and of course the body of the telescope tube. Yeah. And next, so let us discuss reflecting telescopes, which is also known as reflectors. So they use mirrors instead of lenses to reflect light. So unlike a lens, a mirror can be very thin. A bigger mirror does not also have to be thicker. Light is concentrated by bouncing off the mirror. So the mirror just has to have the right curved shape. So, but mirrors have their own problems. But the curved mirror in a telescope is like a spoon. So if you think of a spoon, it flips the image, right? So luckily, the solution is simple. We just use another mirror to flip it back, or to flip the image back. So the number one benefit of using mirror is that they are not heavy, since they are much lighter than lenses, and mirrors are a lot easier to launch into space. So in a reflecting telescope, we have two mirrors. The primary mirror, which is the larger mirror, and it gathers and reflects light. The secondary mirror reflects light and image to flip the image para dili siya distorted, just like I said earlier. Diba? Ang primary mirror, it flips the image, so we need a secondary mirror which reflects and flips back the image into the eyepiece. And we also have the telescope tube. Next is how does a telescope really work. So early telescopes focused light using pieces of curved, clear glass called lenses. However, most telescopes today use curved mirrors to gather light from the night sky. The shape of the mirror or lens in a telescope concentrates the light, and the light is what we see when we look into a telescope. So two pieces in a telescope makes this possible. So this phenomenon that we will be able to see images on a telescope. First is the objective lens, or in refractors, and it is called a primary mirror in reflectors. So it collects lots of light from a distant object and brings that light or image to a point of focus. And next is the eyepiece. The eyepiece lens takes the bright light from the focus of the object or the objective lens or primary mirror, and it spreads it out. So it magnifies it to take up a large portion of the retina. So this is the same principle that a magnifying glass or a lens uses. It takes a small image on the paper and spreads it out over the retina of your eye so that it looks bigger. So a telescope has two general properties. First is how it can collect the light, and next is how it can magnify the image. So first, how well it can collect the light. So a telescope's ability to collect light is directly related to the diameter of the lens or mirror. So it is the aperture that is used to gather light. So generally, the larger the aperture, the more light the telescope collects and brings to focus, and the brighter the final image will be. Next is the telescope's magnification. Its ability to enlarge an image depends on the combination of lenses used. So the eyepiece performs the magnification. Since any magnification can be achieved by almost any telescope by using different eyepieces, aperture is a more important feature than magnification. So I think that is all for this how a telescope works. So I hope you were able to grasp something from all of the information that I was talking earlier. So that could be all, and thank you for listening and watching.